People of the Purple Butterfly here, back with another Modge Podge soap. Not granite, not marble, not family Podge. This one is just flat out Modge Podge by popular demand. And there's the soap samples I'm using to make it. All new soaps and samples from old, but nothing recycled, nothing that's previously used. In other words, I could sell this one. In the meantime, I was charged to do this on film. So that's what I'm going to do. In here I have coconut oil, canola, coconut, and a couple other fun things. I'm not giving away my entire recipe now. Come on. And they had started hardening up just a little bit, so which I don't get because I'm literally sweating buckets, which means the coconut should be hot enough to be, you know, completely liquid, but apparently that's not the case. So let's put this over here. And my lye water I made before church. So it's definitely room temperature cool. That does not stop me from straining it. You never know what can be in the mix. See, that's a good example of why I strain it. Don't know what those little crystal particles are, but I'm not going to find out, and now it's not part of my I'm going to just emulsification because I need to be able to really work with this because it's going to be an in-the-pot swirl. And I got a green, a pink, a blue, and an orange over here. And it's been my experience that when this soap decides it wants to speed up, it freaking speeds up quick. Anyway, the tried and true fragrance oil is never the issue when I make this soap. The issues tend to be, say if I use lard, or if I use this, or if I use that. It's never, ever this fragrance oil. This is my tried and true best-selling fragrance oil, Cherry Overload. And I never have any issues with the Cherry Overload. And this was not completely to emulsification, just going by the amount of oil that's floating on top of here. But that'll work out because that means when it's time to go ahead and work this, I can without too much of an issue. In fact, this is literally what you would call separation. There's oil floating on top. Okie dokie. Now, let's get this basically at an even kill with the rest of the colors. Because we don't want it to be all green. Never all green, not in my brain. I'm not much of a fan of green, to say the least. But by the same token, I don't want so much white to be in it that you can't tell what other colors are in the mix, because I've had that happen with several other batches. So basically, I'm scraping out all of the soap, and what's going to be left is going to be the base of the in-the-pot swirl, which would be hardly any of the white left over. In the meantime, when you use up this much of your base mixture and find out that it didn't, you know, trace or whatever, tilt your pan sideways away from your face. That way, if the stick blending decides it wants to splatter, it's not splattering where you live, you know, your eyes, your face, your nose, all that. There we go. Next. Ooh, pretty. And since it's now in separate color pots, you could go ahead and, you know, blend it straight and not worry about emulsifying, because the only thing that's got to blend up now is the soap chunks and the end of pot swirl. By the way, I sprayed the soap chunks with alcohol because when I used to do milk and pour, alcohol was literally the catalyst or the glue that held together one soap to another. So, old habits die hard, and just in case that helps, that's what I did. I really should do the orange, then the pink, then the blue, then the green. But 12th hour, I don't think a little couple of drops of blue is going to make a difference with the orange. And if it does, I'll probably be the only person that knows it. Which is usually the case. This green is the soft green that was in the bottle of True Yellow when I was doing the demo on how to open a mica packet without a mica mesh. So it's actually a lighter green than, you know, because it's got the yellow in it, which means it's really pretty, because there's some greens I just don't like. There we go. Give me a second. There we go. Now, I kind of covered up the spot I usually put that in. So it's going to go over here now. And if you hear something go boom, don't panic. That's just the stick blender going kaput. Anyway, I'm going to start with the orangey looking color. And then the green. And even though the blue's right next to me, I'm going to put the pink in there, which has already started getting a thick trace going on. And then the blue. That way it's pleasing to the eye in that color combo. Where's the... Yeah. I used to go ahead and scrape that with my finger when I was doing that, but I figured out a long time ago when your gloves start getting all funky feeling, it's because that lye is eating away at your glove because you did that. So I don't do that now. I use a, what do you call this, spatula. Yeah, that aphasia still gets me. But it's all good. That's just my life now. Now that I started working it, of course, it wants to do a non-pop thing, which is good, because that means it won't, you know, harden up to a whole bar of soap while it's in the mode. That's ironic. I had more of the green than anything else, and it's the one that ran out first. That happens sometimes. I don't worry about it. I'm just going to get all of this in there, and then I'll scrape the pot later when I go to decorate the top. Now, somebody asked me one time, what's the secret to my in the pot swirls? And I said, take it, dip it, stir it once, and go through the middle. It should look like a heart. Well, in case that wasn't clear, I'm going to transpose these two so you can see. The only thing left to do now is to pour. So, hold on. There's the soap that you see me pour 1, 2, 3, all 4 corners. I'm going to choose the orange, stick it down, stir once, and then straight through. And that's it. And then I'm just going to pour it directly over the soap that's already in the mold. Well, actually, I'm going to tap it a little, release some of these air bubbles. And apparently the video on the camera just froze in place, but I'm just hoping against hope that it's still recording. Now I'm going to go to the sides here. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. And then through the middle. That way everything gets the benefit of being coated with this soap. And now, because I see a couple of little empty spots, I'm going to fill in any empty spot I see. And then I'm going to do a little bit of slaming. I'm going to put this actually on the ground, because when I have to slam a pot that big, splash can happen. A couple of things splashing is one thing, but the whole pot in my face, I don't think so. Nope, not going to happen, not with this kit. And now I'm just going to take it through. And that kept it from being too muddy, and it didn't mix all crazy, easy. And now I'm just going to scrape it along one side and straight down the middle, so that way it doesn't make a muddy mess. You know, I don't know if you can see that, but it's still streaking when you pour it just because of that method. So by the time it gets muddy, that's when you have the colors that was in the pot over there to help you out. Wow, this is starting to very quickly insert its dominance. It's like, hey, I'm the boss here. What you thought, lady? So, let's get the rest of it, blend it up. Actually, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to come back with the last of the pink. Just because that's my favorite color, and what I do now is how the soap is going to look on the bottom, and how it looks on the top is going to be from the Modge Podge pieces itself. So basically, I want to splash of color in the corners. I want to splash of color through the middle, so forth and so on. Sweat is dripping into my goggles. But I learned with my very, very, very first batch of soap, don't take them goggles off to wipe your face off or nothing. It's just going to have to be something I deal with until I get down to the sink in the bathroom rather, so I can wash up, wash my face, and all that good stuff. Which means what I'm doing right now is avoiding, say, the sweat dripping towards my eyes, which I can't avoid, but I can certainly avoid it dripping into, say, the pot of soap. I mean, I've heard people say, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this soap, but it's not going to be literally, no. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, that's the last of this blue. I got to get some more of that blue. It's not quite a blue, but it's not a purple either, and it's called college blue. So I'm thinking under the right circumstances, it could be a very, very vibrant hue for a lot of things. Like if I put some titanium dioxide with a soap and put this color in there, it'll just be gorgeous. Now let's decide where we're going to put this green. Like I said, I'm not a really fan of green, so it doesn't matter to me where it hides. But, you know, other people look at the soap might be like, why the green's only in that one spot? Because I'll try to hide it in that one spot just to get rid of all the product, because you can't leave all this in your, soap bowl, because that's waste, and we don't waste, not at Sober's house. So that way I could go behind it with this bright, vibrant, blaze, orange, yeah, which I keep wanting to call yellow for some reason. I don't know why I do that. Well, yes I do. It's the aphasia thing. But even before the aphasia, I would get orange, yellow, and red mixed up with my vocals. Ooh, that's pretty. I probably should have let the pink be the last thing get seen instead of the orange, but I probably do pink way too much. So this time the orange got to take center screen. Yes, it did. Now, that's the only tricky part. Because of the chunks that's down there, mainly We got it jarred enough to get the, edges in there. But by the same token, because of the fact that there's big chunks of soap pieces in there, there's no room to jar it. So I just kind of give it a jiggle, 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 wiggle. And as you can tell, it's right at the edge. Which means technically this soap will not be gelled until it gets slightly hard. So that way, any top I put on it won't get stuck to the top. I'm going to put this over here. Oh, I feel a burning sensation on my arm. I do not think it's a burn, but just in case. Where's my vinegar? There we go. Now, if there's any vinegar in there that wants to seep to where the light might have been, it can do that now. So I'm just going to take, this is not a bamboo skewer, it's called a pick tool. I'm just going to put little scrolling light designs across the top. That's about the only thing I could do a scroll with and not go through all these layers that have soap chunks in there. And I see a couple of pieces separated, and I know for a fact I had a good trace going on. So hopefully it'll decide to behave at the 12th hour, I don't know. There we go. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this around. And my press and seal mat. And then I'm going to give it about 5-10 minutes to, get used to its current surroundings. And then I'm going to carry it down the steps where I can slam it a few more times and maybe stick it in the oven as a sheet pot. I do see one piece of soap that decided they want to break the ties that bind, so it's sticking up right there, and I'm going to let it. That'll be the one lone design on this. Anyway, this has been People7 on Twitter, YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at PurpleButterfly-People.blogspot.com, and my soaps, PurpleButterfly Soaps, can be located at People.Etsy.com. Thank you for joining me in this journey of Modge. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Bye now.